Welcome to another episode with your chapter crush sweetheart. This is Everblue Presents When You're Enough, a chapter crush sweetheart series. Bronwyn, Chapter 20. We come to love not by finding a perfect person, but by learning to see an imperfect person perfectly. Sam Keen. Okay, I sit back, pondering how best to answer Michelle's question. Well, Bryony was always the one people flocked to, since she was always so bright and fun to be around. I was her Mr. Hyde, or at least that was what I heard whispered about me in the hallways at school. Bryony never tolerated anyone saying such things about me, but it was easy to see why people would think so. And while I've never been a violent person, I mostly kept to myself, as I've always had a problem with expressing my feelings. Not ideas, but opinions. It's exhausting to try to convince other people what you think matters when they aren't open to any agreement, so it became easier not to try. I always had Bryony, so it didn't feel like any great loss anyway. Even though I haven't made a connection yet, Michelle is nodding as if it's making perfect sense. Yet, my grandmother, Julia, always saw me. It started as a way to help me communicate the music. She always stopped to ask my opinion and dug deep, not accepting the safe answers I developed to avoid conflict, which is why she saw French as a sort of gateway for me and would only speak French when she saw me. He hums as I continue, eyes locked on mine. She would always say, "When you speak French, you must round the sounds in the front of your mouth. That means you're changing your face, the way you look as you speak, and your personality. English speaking Baldwin is not the same as French speaking Baldwin. Isn't that so?" I'd smile because it was true. French speaking Bronwyn felt more free to share opinions, thoughts, her true feelings. I marveled at that and told her so. That's when she told me that French would be the key to knowing how I really felt about something or someone. I could just speak what I'm thinking out loud and forget everything else. I've been doing it ever since. Michelle nods thoughtfully. French Bronwyn is confident, knows what she wants, and doesn't feel anything. Do you argue in French as well? I laugh. With whom? You're the only person I'm not speaking to in English on a regular basis. When he nods, his eyes lighting mischievously, I laugh. I'm not having an argument with you for the sake of arguing, Michelle. Why not? Winning feels great. From what I hear, so does skydiving. It doesn't mean I want to do it. He bolts up. Why not? Because it's terrifying. He must have washed the gel from his hair at some point, because when he runs a hand through it, his damp waves fall back into his face. So you're saying you'll never go skydiving? My brows automatically shoot up. Absolutely not. That's right up there with bungee jumping or riding a motorcycle. His eyes are positively ablaze with excitement. You're saying you haven't done any of those things? That's exactly what I'm saying, and I have no intention of doing any of them. Laying back, he positions a pillow under his arm, cradling his head in his hand. And as I struggle to keep my eyes from drifting over his massive bicep, he asks, "Why not?" Why not what? Oh, right. Because it's scary? Raising a brow, he narrows his eyes on me. Are you afraid of heights? Hmm? No, I don't think so. Are you afraid of sudden drops? Well, no, I frown. I was on the diving team for 2 years in high school. Why did you stop diving? Because I got an after-school job instead. Are you afraid to go fast? What? I scowl at him. What's with the 20 questions? His bright eyes are more blue than gray in the light, and they burn with an intensity I've only seen when he talks about his daughter or the law. What's with not answering? You're so going to pay for this when it's my turn. I laugh. I look forward to it. He chuckles. So? Am I afraid to go fast? No, I don't think so. I used to like roller coasters. I just haven't been to an amusement park in years. With a sharp nod, he holds up a finger. We'll do one thing every 6 months. I'm sorry, what? Michelle's smile is devilish as he nods. Yes, we'll try something new, and if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. I scoff with a laugh. I most certainly will not. Sitting up, he folds his legs as he faces me. The cheater. Why do you think you haven't done those things, despite not having an aversion to the activity, but the idea of them? I blink. What do you mean? Why am I afraid of riding a motorcycle despite not being afraid of going fast? He affirms with a nod. Oh, probably because it seems dangerous, according to I shrug. I don't know. People? My parents? Aha. he says with a smirk. Aha? I ask, to which he only nods. Aha, what? They make a good point. Traffic fatalities are high around motorcycle riders. They are high around vehicles of any sort. The important thing is to be a careful rider. Something sounds in my mind, and I narrow my eyes on his face. Oh no, you're a motorcycle rider, aren't you? I may own a moto, he grins, and ridden since I was 18. Shaking my head, I smile in response. You're biased and still alive. I also know for sure whether or not I like it, or if I'm letting something or someone make the decision for me. Shots fired, I whisper without thinking. Now you're daring me to do things? He shakes his head. I'm asking you to consider things from your own point of view, not someone else's. To weigh everything, then decide. Frowning, I stare off at the Rosa Bonheur print of the horse fair that hangs on the wall. I'm pretty sure all of the artwork at this hotel features art on loan at the Met, but this is a particularly moving piece. The power the artist captures in the bodies of the horses coming up against the strength and will of men feels symbolic somehow. You think it's wise to disregard the wisdom of those who came before us for a chance of fun? I ask as I contemplate it. No. I think it's important to ask why and make an informed decision rather than relying totally on second-hand knowledge. I think it serves us well, especially when we're young. But it's something we grow out of as we learn to figure things out on our own. Maybe it's passed on because it's tried and true. Or maybe it's passed on because no one said, oh, there might be a different way that's just as good. He frowns thoughtfully as he continues. I certainly don't want Dory at the age of 5 testing the wisdom of staying away from odd things. It's a fundamental truth that odd things can burn you, but by the age of 15, it would be good if she could have developed the skills necessary to use that heat to cook or bake, rather than continue to feel it. Now, if she doesn't like doing those things after trying it, well, that's a decision she'll be able to make relying on information she gathered for herself. So what? You're trying to teach me to use fire, Mishu? Am I a caveman? We've only been married for 5 hours. I'm assuming it took cavemen longer than that to learn how to harness a flame. He laughs, but doesn't say anything else as he lifts a hand defensively. I heave a sigh as I massage my temple. Fine. I see your point. However, as a fully independent adult, I would like to make a counteroffer. Michel raises a brow, his eyes curious as he silently nods. I propose if we're doing something new, we rock, paper, scissors for it. So if I win, you'll do the thing. No questions asked. His smile is so wide, I wonder if he knows something I don't. Yes, I nod. But if I win, you're doing something I pick. No questions asked. His frown is so swift it's comical. Like what? Smirking, I point at him. That's a question. Fine, he laughs. You have a deal. A knock sounds at the door, and after collecting the room service, we settle in to eat. After discovering that both of our dishes look good, we decide to split them. Half of my lobster ravioli for a portion of his porterhouse steak. Best decision ever. And when he suggests we pick up watching the Chinese drama we had started, I can't help thinking that if this is what being married to him will be like, it may be more enjoyable than I originally thought. Warmth from the sunlight wakes me. Blinking against the rays, I realize I forgot to close the blackout curtains last night. How could I forget such a thing? Oh, right. After brushing my teeth, I got settled under the blankets without a pillow fort, despite Michelle's offer to build one. I remember closing my eyes to pray that I keep my sanity as he finished in the bathroom and came in the room. Then I heard him turn off the light and settle back on his side. But at that point, I was not about to move, so I pretended I was already asleep. Ronvin, he called. No response. Winnie. Nothing. I was congratulating myself on being a sleep ninja when I felt the bed shift as he rolled towards me and hovered. Just hovered above me. Just what on earth he was doing, I'll never know. But he was not moving. Then he blew on my face. My eyes popped open to find him grinning down at me, inches from my face. Are you crazy? I asked. Are you? Why are you laying ill ignoring me? Well, I sputtered. I could have been praying. Do you intend to have a conversation 2 inches from my face every night? That's when he smirked, his voice dipping as he said, why, does it bother you, Winnie? My mouth opened and closed a couple of times before I squeaked, no! Tried again in a normal pitch. No, why would I be nervous? His eyes locked on mine then, and I knew. I knew that he knew that I knew that we were both thinking about that kiss earlier. He confirmed it when he whispered, you may be nervous that I'll Kiss you again. I had to work really hard to swallow past the sudden knot in my throat. Nope, not at all nervous about that. We're on a look but don't touch policy, remember? Also, that never happens in any medium. Not in a rom-com, not in a drama, nothing. The most that will happen is she'll try to get me all flustered and only lean over to turn off the light. I've seen way too much for you to try to Winnie, he whispers, his eyes dilating to two dark pools. Yeah? I whisper. You're rambling. I take a deep breath, rolling my lips into my mouth. He looks at me another moment before leaning over me to turn off the light while I rapidly blink, unsure of where to look. When he leans back in the darkened room, I breathe out a sigh of relief until I feel him press a quick kiss to my cheek. What? I thought you said look but don't touch. He sighs as he settles into his pillows. I'm French, Winnie. That's the least I can do for my wife. Good night. And in what feels like seconds later, soft snores are coming from his side of the bed. Well, if that don't beat all. Now that my eyes have adjusted to the early morning sunlight, I wonder if I can hear the birds singing in Central Park from up here, or if the sound of traffic would drown them out. Taking stock, there are no intertwined limbs. I'm not laying on top of Michel. He's not on top of me, so that's just another lie that I've been told. I try not to feel disappointed as I flip the blankets back to sit up, only to feel a sharp pain in the back of my head. I immediately collapse back onto my pillow. My hair came undone at some point during the night, and now it's caught under something or someone. I try rolling towards Michelle, but my hair is caught too close to my head to make a full rotation. Maybe if I slide. Nope. Sharp pain immediately shoots through my scalp. Just how is it caught that I can't? Sliding my hand through my hair, I've just found the source when he apparently decides to roll closer. I can feel his heat at my back, although he hasn't touched me, but that isn't even close to being the problem. No, it's the hand he has tangled or wrapped in his hand that is very much the problem. And I want out, like yesterday. Michelle? I murmur. I clear my throat and try again. Michelle? Crickets. And I, for one, am not sticking my hand back there to shake him awake. Michelle! I don't want to yell and scare him awake, because if he ends up yanking out my hair because he thought it was a call to action, he will have a very real problem on his hands. Mishu? Hotel's on fire? I stick a foot behind me, and when I connect with a leg, I give it a shake. Mishu? Dory's jumping on the couch. A sleepy rumble followed by a soft snore. Wake up, Mishu. I push his leg again until he moves, suddenly pinning my leg under his. Now he's leaning on me. Oh boy. Michelle. Mishu, I say louder. He leans closer, his breath stirring my hair. Michelle, it's time to wake up. No response. Is this a joke? Ugh. I can't untangle my hair without seeing how it's wrapped in his fingers, but I can't stay like this either. My neck is already starting to hurt from his awkward angle. Note to self, bonnets are a necessity for more reasons than one now. Maybe if I try French. Mishu, it's time to wake up, old man. He grumbles. If you don't wake up, you're going to pay for this. The quiet makes me realize this man is a heavy sleeper, and also that I'm going to have to try flipping around the opposite way to face him if I'm going to have a prayer of getting out of this anytime soon. Mishu, please wake up, I whine. If my breath stinks in the morning, yours must be like 1,000 times worse. This is not how I want to get acquainted. Nothing. Okay, guess I'm going in. As I roll onto my stomach, I realize I'm pretty much at the edge of the bed, meaning this man must have been chasing me in his sleep to get so close without touching. That's real stealth capability, to stalk someone in your sleep. I slowly roll my head towards him in case I'm wrong about which hand is wrapped in my hair. I'm not wrong, and as I roll so that we're practically chest to chest, his arm heavily rests on my shoulder. I reach back to see if the maneuvering loosened his hand, but it hasn't. If anything, it's more tightly wrapped. Taking a deep breath, I ignore the thick column of his exposed throat, but I can't see past his stubbled chin. Maybe that's for the best. If he were blowing his morning breath in my face, I might actually die of suffocation before I get out of here. As it is, I might suffocate from the sweet leather scent emanating from him. Being that I'm eye level with his chest, I close my eyes so that I'm not ogling him and poke the firm mass. Mishu? Please wake up. Mishu? The deep rumble is more pronounced since I'm practically under his chest. Oh no, this is not sustainable. I start vigorously slapping him in the chest. Wake up, Mishu! Wake up! Movement! Finally! With one loud grunt, he throws his leg over me and pulls me closer. Oh my cookies. Michelle! Michelle! I'm yelling frantically now from where I'm smashed against him from head to toe. Mishu! You've got 5 seconds to get off of me. Get off! He rumbles in my ear. And, well, he can't say I didn't warn him. Morning when it is. Like what you're hearing? Tune in Tuesday and Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, or visit us at everblueauthor.substack.com for even more stories.